Aug.8th episode of Evening Chat and BS. Don't have anything really special planned tonight. Figured we would just sit back and kick it for a while. Let me go and get everything synced in here together. That way, when people start talking, I can actually see what they're saying. There's my face. Oh, God forbid. There is that. Hey, Sasquatch. Good to see you, bud. Go and get this up on the old Facey book real quick. Spin the right direction. There we go. And there it goes. All right. How was your day, brother? Hope you had a good day. Get myself a little more centered over here. There we go. That's better. Oh, busy day, busy day, busy. Not really. Not really. I put that video up. Started working on the video for Wednesday. Decided, you know what? I'm not gonna. I went in, flipped on Disney Plus, started catching up on my Moon Knight just a little bit. Pretty good show. Another one of those Marvel shows, um, made by Disney. Um, got a good storyline to it. I really like it. Gets kind of slow at times and hard to understand, but, well, ain't exactly dealing with the most intelligent person, so it's slow and hard to understand sometimes is good. Everybody's so quiet already. Got 3 people in here. Everybody's quiet. Hope everybody had a good Monday. We are a week into the month of August 2020 already. Where the hell? 2022. Where the hell has our year gone? I can understand being quarantined up in your house and stuff like that and time passing by, but when you're actually able to get out and move around and time still flies by, hey, BS, good to see you, bud. Hey, Terry. Howdy, howdy. I think Squatch might have stepped away for a minute. I said hi to him myself and haven't got a response back yet. I think he might have stepped away for a minute. Went and grabbed himself something to drink, maybe a sandwich to chew on. You just never know. Hey, Jan. Might even be outside checking on them yahoos on his roof. You just never know. Yeah, exactly. I don't know about you guys, but if I hired a roofing crew and it took them 2 years to get started, I'd be demanding a sunroof or two, maybe some solar panels, something really cool up there. I mean, he almost had to go to court over that deal. I'd be I'd be screaming for a little extra loving after it taking 2 years to get my roof fixed that needed fixed 2 years ago. Couple of skylights in my kitchen. Some I always wanted one of those great big glass section or Lexan sections of roof. That way, if I wanted to lay on my couch or something and watch the storm above my house, watch the lightning flash or the clouds move, I could do it. Well, like I said earlier, I hope everybody had a good Monday. I done a lot of reflecting today on this morning's live stream, and I wanted to apologize to everybody. I kind of went off on a tangent this morning and brought all the negative, and y'all know that's just not me. I try not to dwell on things, and I just wanted to tell everybody that I was sorry for bringing all that negative boo-hoo, boo-boo kitty bullshit this morning and starting off everybody's week and day with a bunch of negative stuff. I think it will come in handy. I think it will come in very handy to me. It's good information, and I really appreciate you sending that, Jan. Never apologize. Well, I was brought up always being told to apologize if you feel that you deserve to apologize. And that's the reason, that my conscience kind of got to me this morning after the stream. And it's like, I shouldn't have brought all that negative stuff to them. It is not their fault. And I shouldn't be drowned in their lives in my negativity. Hey, Ian. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Tony. Welcome, welcome. Glad you stayed up to join us tonight. Hey, Jay. Hope you had a good day at work, sir. Squirrel Sniper. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything over across the pond has cooled off a little bit. I was saying this morning that my friend over in Dorby, um, I was talking to him a few weeks ago when your temperatures were, well, over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And he said he's actually going to make it back over here in April next year. And I told him, I said, April's a good time to come here. You never know if it's gonna be warm enough to be sitting outside, or if it's gonna be cold enough we still have snow on the ground. And it's like I told him, after the summer you guys have had over in the UK, y'all could probably stand a little cold. I don't know how y'all did it. It was warmer in the UK than it was here in Michigan. I mean, we still had the humidity, but we only had, I think, what, 20 something degrees Celsius. We were in the 80s here, but the humidity was off the scale. It was like 102 heat index with like 82 degrees temperature. Hey, Shane, good to see you. Glad you could join us, bud. Nice picture. I seen that picture and I thought, man, the first thing that crossed my mind is back off my nuts. And I ran with it. I ran with it. I had to. Very busy day, 58 deliveries, 9 pickups, only 200 miles. Wow. Hot again this week, about 30, which is still warm. Very warm. I think that's the 90s here. Had to buy a new AC this weekend. The one I had was spitting water, so I tried tipping it, but it fell out of the window 2 stories up. Oh, God. That could have been catastrophic for some old lady and her dog. It's nice here just now, 12 degrees Celsius and clear, 10 past midnight. I'm gonna double it and add 30. Wow. Yeah, I don't know how to convert. Um, I don't know how to convert Celsius to Fahrenheit. I always have to look online really quick and try to convert them. Right now we're at 71 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's been raining on and off all evening long, so it's a very cool 71 degrees. A little bit of breeze out there. Can't complain about that. When I went outside, it was spitting Freon. Sorry you had to buy another air conditioner. I know that can get really expensive at times, depending upon how many BTUs you want to get, how cold you want it kept. My son and stepdaughter, I couldn't believe they had 5 air conditioners running the whole time we were there this weekend. They had 3 downstairs, 3 downstairs and 2 upstairs working. We had one evening of rain in 5 weeks. We've had a lot of weeks like that here this summer. It's been the spring started off really wet, and then it rained, and then it didn't rain for like a month. Then it rained for like 2 days. Then it didn't rain again for like 3 weeks. Then it rained like every day for like 3.5 days. 85 degrees Fahrenheit here in Cartersville, Georgia. 85 is warm, especially down in Georgia. Being that close to the ocean, I'm sure the humidity is abso-frickin-lutely incredible. Rain is supposed to start overnight and continue in the morning. Yeah, I think we're going to go on and off all night long with the rain. And the UK national-wide host pipe ban will be in place end of this week. The hose pipe ban. I've not heard anything about that. What is the hose pipe ban? It would be nice, Shane. It would really be nice, but that was one of my issues this morning that I was whining profusely about, was the fact of transportation and stuff like that. The fact that I've missed so many of our investigations and stuff because I can't get to them. Not only do I have no transportation, but no fuel, no money to help anybody with fuel for transportation. So that was one of my things this morning. That's what I was apologizing about earlier, was going off on that tangent and whining about all that stuff. Nobody's fault but my own. If I wouldn't have got sick and stuff like that, I'd still be working. I hit 92 today, heat index. Had to be over 100. Not allowed to water the garden or allotment from a hose pipe. Oh, I got you. Yeah, I hadn't heard anything about that. Yeah, it'd be great to go back to Gettysburg. I think it'd be neater than peanut butter to go out there and film back at Gettysburg again when there are reenactors out there and stuff. But maybe the 165th. Maybe the 165th. We'll see. Yeah, I seen that, Terry. I was just getting ready to sit down and eat, and it popped up on my Google News thing at the top of my phone. And I looked at it, and I was like, "Oh dear God, Olivia Newton-John. That's terrible." Yeah, yeah. The breast. Hey, Nicholas. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well today. She had it once before and beat it, and she became an advocate for natural remedies and stuff like that. And it came back, I guess, 3 or 4 years ago. She announced that she had it again, and then in 2018 announced it had moved to her back. So I mean, a lot of people were expecting it. I, on the other hand, had no clue that it ever came back. Um, Good. I'm glad, Nicholas. I'm glad. She was my first crush. I think she was my first crush too. Be honest with you. David McCullough died today. I did not know that. I hadn't heard anything about that. Funded many places in Australia to help women with breast cancer. Yeah, I knew that she was not born in Australia, but her family moved to Australia when she was like 5 years old, and she always claimed Australia as her homeland. Um, but yeah, I knew, and then she's also got the Olivia Newton-John Foundation. Um, and actually, that's what the news article said that I read tonight was in lieu of flowers, the family requests that any donations be made to her foundation to help women with breast cancer. Lost my mother to breast cancer in 2005. Gone to her back as well. Wow, that's terrible. That is really sad. I'm sorry that you and your family had to go through that, Jan. You know, I've lost three aunts and an uncle to cancer, and I have one aunt that was diagnosed with cancer 15 years ago, and she's still going strong. I mean, we pretty much figure there's nothing left inside her but cancer, and how she goes from day to day, we just we have no clue. We really have no clue how she's still going. My mom is amazed every time she don't get a phone call. Roger Mosley. Didn't Roger play TC? I don't remember. Um, I remember seeing the name at the beginning of the show, but I don't remember. Did Roger play TC? I took care of her till her last breath. Wow. Okay. All right. I thought that's who it was, but I just wasn't sure. Lost my mom to cancer in 1988 when I was 17. Hmm. You know, my mom had her breast cancer scare when I was about 13 or 14, and it wound up just being a polyp. It wasn't even an active cancer. Um, but because my uncle was the last to die, um, all the time, I'm feeling myself, making sure there's no lumps anywhere. I mean, a lot of men don't realize they can get it too. And I check myself on a regular basis. Some scary stuff, y'all. My ex-wife has breast, hip, stomach cancer. She's fighting. Hey, those Pinson women, even when they marry into the name, they have to become fighters. I mean, she's got to deal with you on a daily basis. She's gonna kick cancer's ass, bud. Took care of my dad till his last breath too. Let me tell you, it was hard taking care of him. We didn't get along. You know, my dad and I love each other. And I would step in front of a bullet without a second thought. But my dad and I can't live together. My mom will straight up tell you that my dad and I are so much alike that we would murder each other if we lived together. When I came back from the service, I stayed with them for like 3 months until I could find a place to live for me and my fiance that I asked to marry me before I went away. And when I came back from the service, my dad realized that I was just as big a butthole as he is. And there was no way under the sun him and I could ever live together without killing each other. But like I said, living apart, we cherish every second we have together. But we thank God for the goodbyes at the end of it. Dad was sitting there, and he finally stood in front of him and told him off. Sometimes you got to, regardless of how you feel when you walk away. Regardless of how they feel when you walk away. Sometimes you got to make your feelings be known. My dad was a hardcore army guy when I was growing up. I wore more bruises on my sternum from that big fat finger. His index finger was as big around as my thumb. That way. And that big old thing come up and start tapping me in my chest and stuff. Especially when I cussed in front of my mom. I had big round bruises on my sternum. Hello, Donna. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well tonight. My dad and I used to go at it even as an adult. He would always say, "Time for you to go, but I'll see you tomorrow." Overworked, underpaid. I think everybody in here knows how that is. Overworked and underpaid seems to be the new American way. Oh, man, I'll tell you guys what. I am so excited. We have got 12 days to Ghost-orama. I can't wait. I can't wait. We have got people coming from all over the state of Michigan. We have got people coming from Wisconsin. We got people coming from Illinois. We got people coming from Ohio. We got people coming from Kentucky. We even have a few coming down from Canada. It's going to be real interesting. We have got everything from card readers coming to spiritualists. We have got bands coming. We have got paranormal investigative crews coming. We have got historians coming. We have got a lot. We've got, spooky vendors, statue workers. We even have people come in who make. Um, we even have people come in who make phallic statues and statuettes of different things. Let's just leave it with that. Reproductions of certain organs on the human body that people seem to take an interest in. So it's going to be quite the unusual show, but it is going to be really fun. We have got the Ghostbusters coming in. We've got the Mystery Machine coming in. We got the Mach 5 from Speed Racer coming in, plus the classic car show. We have the daytime tour of the Paw Paw Playhouse, and then after the place closes at 9 o'clock, we've got the after hours ghost investigation coming in. It's going to be fun. Plus, there's going to be stuff there for the kids, which is going to make it even better. My dad and I weren't on speaking terms the morning he passed. I'm sorry. That's always hard. I'm sorry. Yep, 10 days till you get here. As far as I know, it's open. People are going back and forth across the Ambassador Bridge every day. Yeah, you better make sure all you got fresh, brand new batteries and everything that you can replace the batteries in, and everything charged up that you can. Okay. I didn't know him, but I still felt it necessary to, give it a heartfelt I'm sorry. I mean, he brought you into the world, so he done something right in his life. I mean, you look at it from that angle. My dad had his times. He was a nasty OSOB. There was a time my dad drank way too much, and the more he drank, the looser his lips were. And I can't remember what I'd done, but I really screwed something up one time, and he looked at me and he says the biggest F up I ever made in this life was bringing you into it. And all those years, the best part of your forebears ran down your mom's leg. And I said, the only reason you regret bringing me in the world is now you got to look at somebody every day and remember all the screw ups you made. First time my dad ever hit me. But now, I mean, I wish I had a picture I could just show you of my dad. But now I actually look like a 50-year-old version of my dad, so it's even worse now, except his hair is darker. And he's got darker complexion, which makes me wonder just whether or not I was adopted or not. So my sister and I both have blue eyes, blonde hair. My mom and dad both have dark hair and brown eyes. Anyone who did know him didn't care for him. Never had a nice word to say about anyone. My dad never hit me, he knew better. Oh man. Parents. Parents are just like kids. Can't live with them. Can't beat them and bury them with the same shovel. If I didn't have long hair and boobs, I look just like. I'm not even going to comment on that because I'm doing my best to be good, and I am not going to. I'm not going. I just realized my beaver's lopsided. No, really, my beavers. This beaver over here is higher than this beaver. Damn, I got to bring him down like 2 inches. That's what I get. Terry talks about her boobs, and I start thinking about my beaver. Beavers. Beavers. My beavers. He was verbally abusive to my mom. Thank God I have her heart and love for people. Saying I got from my dad is my ability to get the best price on something. Oh, well, that would probably explain why you were so good with the old rendezvous and stuff like that, sitting around dickering with the vendors to get the best prices on the things you wanted. Hey, Tony, this place is full of beautiful women tonight. Chat 'em up, bud. Chat 'em up. Hope you're doing well, Mr. York, sir. Jay lets me dicker on vehicles. What can I trade? Exactly. Always have a box of trade goods with you because you never know what somebody else might need. That's why when we go vehicle shopping, she does all the talking. There you go. See, mine don't understand cars at all. So when she goes looking for a vehicle, she has me do all the information looking up and, reliability ratings, problems that they encounter, things like that. Things like that. That's like this Equinox she got this last time. There are models of the Equinox that have problems with the air conditioner. There are models that have problems with the braking system. Some have problems with the electrical system. The year she got, no one had ever reported a problem with them. And I made sure this one here went through a Carfax anyway. That way everything was recorded on it before she ever even initially made an offer on it. I never looked like a woman at the rendezvous. I wore jeans under a skirt I had to wear. That's the only reason Steph won't do the reenactments and stuff. She loves sitting around drinking with the girls at night and stuff like that, and him hauling around the fires and everything. Hated dressing up. Hated dressing up. So, I got her, when we first got together, I got her all the dresses and skirts. I didn't make her wear the multiple layers that a lot of women wear. Like when we do Civil War, the woman has to wear five different layers of clothes. And in July and August, that is too much. I don't like being out there in wool. I started wearing cotton. I quit doing a soldier, started doing a wagon master. I got to wear cotton denim, Wanamaker jeans, a light shirt, my satin vest. Get her an Indian maiden costume. Yep, she still wouldn't wear it. As much leather as I've had laying around here and stuff like that, she still wouldn't wear it. I'd make her one. I like making outfits, but more than I like buying them. That's like that That's like that elk hide coat that Santee wears on some of his videos. It's got all the floral patterns going around it. I made that thing by hand. Where it's laced, I made the lacing for it. Where it's stitched, I sewed it with leather needles. I done all the artwork on it, cut all the fringe, done all of it. I wore a lot of muslin shirts. I like muslin shirts. Um, but for the most part, when I got my Wanamaker jeans and or my Wanamaker pants and stuff, that's what the only wool you'll ever catch me wearing on a regular basis is my hat. Wool wrap, suede hat, boots, favorite Native American side. Wool hat was the worst part. The one thing that I liked about a wool hat, though, is if you could get that thing to a horse trough or a water fountain or something and cool down the inside of it, because most of them are waterproof. Once you cool the inside down, slap that puppy back on your head, it stays cold for a while. It's something I liked about my buckskins, too. If I got too hot, I'd wade right out in the creek in my buckskins, get them all chilled off, take off walking up through camp. Those things would stay cool for a while. And if I was forced to wear a pair of long handles underneath them, I'd strip the buckskins off, go wade out in the creek, waist deep in my long handles, and then go put my buckskins back on. You'll never catch me dressed as an Indian maiden. Do you fear being ravaged by the fellow? I don't think Jan fears being ravaged by much. Yep. Now see, I've done my kilt quite a few times. Of course, I always dressed proper. I either had knee-high cavalry boots on or I had my kilt socks on. But I always wore my kilt traditional. Got to keep the undercarriage cooled off before the engine overheats. Now, just keep in mind, Jan, unless, a miracle happens between now and then, you'll be able to call me on my phone, but I won't be, or you'll be able to text me also, but I will not be able to call or text you back. The phone is still off. As long as I'm in the house where there's Wi-Fi, I can use Messenger and stuff like that. But if I step outside, then, especially if I'm out at the road or something like that, nothing. No Wi-Fi signal at all. So, Drew, you need to do a video on my grandfather with his service in the War of 1812, Mexican War, Cherokee removal, Civil War. Where can I get the information on him, Shane? I keep telling everybody, you want me to do a story on something specific for you, just let me know. And I'll do it. I'll do it. You hit me up on Messenger, Shane. You tell me what you tell me the information on him. I will see what I can find on him. I have no problem doing that. I was born a tomboy. I'll always stay that way. General Winfield Scott. Interesting. I have to check that out. Hell with that idea. Too many skeletons. Hey, sometimes skeletons in your closet make the best stories. I would love to see history done on Tecumseh. Not the ones I'm aware of. I've done some stuff on Tecumseh in the past. Um, I was actually looking up some stuff on him this morning, as a matter of fact. I will see what I can find on Winfield Scott and Tecumseh. I mean, besides the fact that Tecumseh made small engines. We all know about the Tecumseh Engine Company. He got mad once when a teenage chess wizard was beating him, and he dumped the chess set and left. Well, that's a whole different side of General Scott than I ever was ever aware of, but I will have to check into stuff like that. See what I can find on him. I think I've done that before. I have never tipped the chessboard. I have sat there and stared at the pieces for about 10 minutes, shook my head, got up, and walked away. But I have never tipped a chessboard, no matter how bad I was getting my butt handed to me. And believe you me, I've got my butt handed to me a few times. They have an outdoor drama over in Chillicothe, 50 years old this year. We saw it years ago. On Tecumseh and his Shawnee, Tecumseh and his Shawnee during the War of 1812. God, I haven't been to Chillicothe in years. Used to date a girl just south of Chillicothe a little bit. She actually come to Indiana and lived with me for about a year. Used to love Chillicothe. Chillicothe, Ohio has a lot of history to it. There's a lot of old pictures out and around of the Civil War, the soldiers and stuff, parading up through downtown Chillicothe and stuff when the war was over. Not terribly far from us. I used to make that drive all the time till she finally asked me to help her pack her stuff up. She wanted to come back with me. Napoleon said in life, as in the game of chess, we're either kings or pawns. Big words from such a little feller. Yeah, if you look up Civil War history, Chillicothe, Ohio, you will actually see pictures of the parade going up Main Street right there. There's a brick building in the picture on the right hand side of the road. I think that building is still standing up there. had a big advertisement type deal paint or a name of the company or whatever painted on the side of the building. But I think a few of those buildings are actually still standing up there. Too bad the queens have all the power. Oh yeah, queens are all over the place. The kings, they're limited on what they can do. Yeah, I think it is still standing. I think I drove, instead of driving the way the parade goes in the picture, I think I drove past it this way one time and remembered the brick building with its location because it was right downtown in Chillicothe. So I believe that building and a couple other ones from that photo are still standing today, 100 and 158 years, 158 years later. My wife hates that quote. Yeah, that is one thing about chess I never understood. You have got the king who is the ultimate power. You have to take that king to beat your opponent. But that king is not the most powerful piece on the board, which is just, I mean, just, it's always blown my mind. They haven't gotten rid of too many of the old buildings. Hey, hey, how are you doing today? I am doing very well, thank you very much. Hope you are as well. Well, yeah, that's what I mean. You know, you either have to trap the king or take the king. I'm glad you're doing well, Cassie. Hey, do we still have that crazy card reading dude scheduled for Ghostorama on August 20th, Cassie? I mean, is he going to make it to Ghostorama? Well, I know that Danny and I were both on one of the live streams one day, and we were both talking to him about it. And I had told him that, you know, we had already mentioned it to you, so I didn't say anything else to him about it. So I hope I really hope Chad can get there. I mean, oh, Cat, there's no. I would love for Cassie to come to Ghostorama, but it's a little bit of a trip from California to Paw Paw, Michigan. Little bit of a trip. Yeah, I'd love for Cassie to make it. I would like for Chad and Molly both to make it, but with Molly living in Ohio, it would even be a challenge for her to make it all the way up to Paw Paw. the nice thing about it, it's only a 1 day event. So, I mean, worst case scenario, if she could make it up, she could actually probably just go back to Chad's place, spend the night, then go back to Ohio the next day. But, Chad's only 40, 50 miles maybe from Paw Paw. So, it wouldn't be that far for him to come out and spend the 8, 9 hours there, unless he wanted to do the ghost hunt afterwards, then 10 or 11, and drive back to where he lives at. I don't know where in Ohio Molly lives. We've never really talked about it. Even that night that she was on the live stream, that Friday night, we didn't really talk about it. I just know she lives in Ohio now. Oh, and Jan and Jay, I wanted to thank you guys again, um, for offering the other folding table and the canopy. Being an August day, we very well might need that shade from that canopy. Um, I'm a little peach, so I bake real fast, and well, us reasonably chunky older fellers need all the shade we can get. So, but I want to thank you guys for that. That is one great big huge one great big huge weight off my chest, coming up with the money for another folding table and a canopy before then. Um, I think we're going to order the banner tonight. It should ship out tomorrow. Um, I think we have enough. I think we got folding chairs enough for everybody up under the canopy and stuff. Um, Pretty sure we do. If not, I can find folding chairs pretty quick. Our trip chick has us going up to just south of Van Wert, cutting over to Fort Wayne. That's probably going to be your best way. Van Wert, yeah, Fort Wayne, only about what 7, 8 miles west of the Ohio-Indiana line. Then you jump over to Fort Wayne, pick up 69, take it north. Um, can't remember right off my top of my head which highway you pick up off 69 to cut over to Paw Paw. Um, I know that 94 curves up towards Detroit, west of 69. So, but I'm sure you'll wind up picking up 94 and just taking it down to Paw Paw, or taking it west to Paw Paw. My new decals for the channel will be done either tomorrow or Wednesday. We have folding chairs with us. See? Lifesaver. Lifesaver. 4 hours, 41-minute drive to Kalamazoo. I'll make it in 4. It's all those years of NASCAR, I tell you. Except for those few places on 69 that are more like a Baja race. We encountered those yesterday coming back home. There's some pretty rough spots, but Big Red, I think, will smooth it all out. I think Red weighs just a little bit more than a teeny tiny little Chevy Equinox, So I think red will make all those bumps just kind of disappear. If I can find a picture of me in the car, take a picture of it and send it to you. Okay, I look forward to it. I like people's history as much as I like American history. That ain't usually how a truck works. I know, but it sounded good. It was bright yellow. Purdy. One of these days, y'all have to come up when we don't have anything going on, and I'll take you guys down to New Paris, Indiana, and the New Paris Raceway. That's our little oval down here that David Stremme and Tony Stewart raced at, and Jeff Gordon was there a couple times. So, but Stremme's, well, the last time I was there, Stremme's dad and sister still race there. My Dakota does it okay, but it ain't meant to haul nothing. Gonna hit the hay, take it easy. Good to see you too, Tony. You take it easy, bud, and go get some sleep. We will see you Friday. It ain't changed much, Jan. That raceway's probably not changed in 30 years, except for repairs to the walls and resurfacing the track. They still do demolition derby. One of their big things in the summertime is trailer derby, where they hook trailers to all the trucks and stuff and have demolition derbies with the trailers and everything, or the wagons, or camper trailers, or whatever they want to haul behind them. Hey, Templar. Good to see you tonight, bud. Hope you're doing well. We got old Templar Knight in here. Reminds me, I was talking at the very beginning of the live stream when there was just a couple people in here. Um, I spent the whole evening kicking back while the wife was cooking dinner. Of course, she made good old smash burgers and some pork and beans and things like that. And I was watching Moon Knight um, on Disney. It's another Marvel show that they've got on there. Very, very cool. Talks about the old Egyptian religion, the old Egyptian gods. Very cool show. Unlike any other Marvel Universe show they've ever come out with. Hey, Paul. Good to see you, bud. Obama's mama. Bum, bum, bum. Good to have everybody in here on a Monday night. Oh, I wanted to do something a little different tonight, and I thought, no, it's been a while since we've just sat back and chewed the fat. just like a morning stream. Just BS'd around, had a good old time, picked on each other, talked about shit. I can't watch new stuff. Too many have agendas. This one here is just a good old fashioned, not even really a superhero. I think I would call Moon Knight more of an anti-hero. Gets his powers from an Egyptian god, has an arch nemesis that's human, that has godlike powers, and it's just a good action show. A lot of the newer stuff just kind of, nah, but this one here being Marvel, I had to check it out, and I was actually surprised. Gotcha, gotcha. See, I grew up on Marvel and DC, reading the comic books and stuff when I was little. We'd go up to the grocery store, me and my grandma. She'd pay 25 cents for a comic book. I'd take it home, read it in just a matter of a couple hours, and be ready to go back and get another one. Hey, Lee. Good to see you. Nutcases. I'm just listening while I do the dishes. They make chili for when she has cataract surgery. Happy. Other than the ones in newspapers. Yep, just can't live without the Phantom, Peanuts. Um, God, what are some of the other ones in there? I forget. It's been so long since I've seen comics in a paper. Probably 30 years. Our newspaper don't have comics in them. I guess people are too educated around here to worry about the comics in newspapers. Family Circus, that was another one. I used to sit there with a pencil when I was little, following Jeffy's footprints around the comic strip. Dilbert. We never had Dilbert in ours. I felt myself relating to that as I got older. Garfield was another one, but I mean, Jim Davis went to Muncie. I went to Ball State University, so you can't have an Indiana paper without Garfield in it. Of course, Dagwood and Blondie, Kathy. I always liked the Phantom. Used to love the Phantom. Then when the movie came out, didn't really like it, but the comics were great. I did kind of read Beetle Bailey. That's because Beetle was cool, man. Beetle reminded me of Gomer Pyle. Ah, the good old days. By the time I was in 6th, 7th grade, I was into classic literature. Never really started reading classic literature, I think, until junior high. Maybe even my freshman year in high school. Always liked Shakespeare. Dracula was pretty cool. Never read Frankenstein. Still to this day, I have never read Mary Shelley's work. Bram Stoker, yes. Shakespeare, most definitely. Poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio, a man of infinite jest. Okay, a squirrel of infinite jest, but just a squirrel. A squirrel who's proud of his nuts. See? Arthurian legends. God, there's so many alterations to Arthurian legends. Um, Quite honestly, the same to the stories of Robin Hood. Everyone who writes a story about Robin Hood or the exploits of Arthur and Merlin, there's always an alteration in it. There's always something different. I read those for over a year. Very cool. Very cool. Goodness gracious, we've already gone for over an hour. Time flies, y'all. Time flies. Oh, goodness gracious. What else was I going to tell you guys about? I had 3 or 4 things I was going to mention to y'all. For the love of God, I don't remember what they were. So on that note, give me a second. I'm going to run to the pate real quick. I think I might be cool enough in the morning to hunt. There you go. I'll be back in just a second. Oh. Hey, Candy. Good to see you, dear. Hope you're doing well. How are you and where the hell have you been? I know we didn't even see her and KG this morning, and that's unusual. I did talk to Wookie for like an hour today. Well, you got to make them feel wanted. You always got to make them feel wanted. You don't make them feel wanted, nobody ever wants to come back. That's why I'm always so happy when people show up. It gets awful boring sitting in here all the time. It's nice to have company once in a while. The whole time that Tyler and his friend were here, Tyler sat right over here to my right. She sat right over here behind the lamp. Y'all remember the girl that looks like the lamp? It's where they sat almost the whole time we were here, except when we walked up to the beach so I could show them all the changes up here and stuff. I've been waiting for Tyler's videos to come up. Ain't seen any yet. I tell our listeners I don't give a shit what they like or want to hear. Y'all are too important to me for me not to care. Been nursing a cat bite on the finger where my cat had a seizure last week and he bit down. Finger got hung on his tooth. It got infected, so I haven't been doing much. Ow! Doggone. I know what Ralphie's little teeth feel like when he's just playing. I can't imagine what an aggressive bite feels like or a seizure bite. Different style of show. Oh, I know. You've talked a lot about your show. Sadly enough, it still don't pop up on my notifications and stuff when you're having the show. That's the only reason I ain't been there yet, because I wanted to check out your show. Hurts like hell's bells. I'm sure it does. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m.-ish Central. So 9 a.m. Central would be 10 a.m. my time. So, all right, I'll be looking Wednesday morning. I'll be looking Wednesday morning at 10:15ish to 10:30ish. My co-host is unable to tell time. I kind of know how that feels. I kind of know how that feels. You know, Danny and I are supposed to be doing our thing on Wednesday evenings, second, third, fourth, and sometimes fifth Wednesday of the month. He has his lodge meetings, of course, on the first Wednesday every month. And it's supposed to be 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and there's been a lot of times I've sat here till almost 9 o'clock, and all of a sudden he pops up. Sorry, was out of the house. Sorry, overslept. It's like, okay, I got nothing to do. You're good. Go for it. I can get there too, since not longer working. I have very little to do with schedule. It's a nice thing about working alone. Um, I believe Batman said it best. That's why Superman works alone. Don't have to worry about being anywhere at any certain time, waiting on anybody else. You just do your thing. I can get there too, since not longer. Oh, okay. Same thing. But um, once again, to touch on one thing that I did mention this morning when I was done with all the whining and stuff, um, we did dispose of MPS, Midwest Parahistoric Society, no longer exists. Um, it will be, it's just going to be Living Histories Mysteries. Of course, I'm also doing videography for other folks, advertising, music videos, things like that. That is Three-Eyed Raven production. I'm keeping our same logo with the raven and stuff. Just redoing it. I'm going to revamp it. So I've got to go tomorrow and work with that musician that I've been working with, Jason Paul. I've got to work on some more music videos for him to get his music copywritten. So I'll be with him pretty much all day long tomorrow, which means I'll be away from the Wi-Fi, so I won't be able to communicate with anybody. And I'll just be recording. So I still get up way before dawn for some reason. Dude, I do every day, and I wish the hell I didn't do it. I wish I didn't do it. There are so many days that I would love to stay in bed till 7 or 8 o'clock. And now don't get me wrong, there are a lot of times I get up at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. By 4 o'clock, I lay back down, and I'll wake up for the wife. I mean, I lay back down 4 or 5 o'clock. The wife leaves at 6:30. At 6:55, I'm awake. She doesn't even make it to work and in the building before I wake up and message her. It's always that way. I cannot sleep much past that. Once I say goodbye to her, even if it's just a message, I fall back asleep. Which means maybe we can party. I get up at 3. There's a lot of times I'm up. There's a lot of times I'm usually up about a half hour before that, and I'll roll on. Yeah, see, me either, for no reason. And I will, if I don't have a live stream to do, by 8 o'clock, I'm in there watching TV, dozing off in the bed. So, only because, I'm not a very happy fella if I only get like 2 hours of sleep. Sometimes, just depends on what I done the day before. Now, the other morning, after being at my son's all day Saturday, we went back to the hotel. The wife was passed out by 10 till 9. I was passed out by 10:30. And we were both up. I think I got up 2 or 3 times during the night, and she woke me up sitting up in bed watching TV at about 10 till 5. Sadly enough, continental breakfast didn't start till 6, so I had to meander around with an energy drink for an hour until the continental breakfast started up. Then I could have my coffee. Then I could have my coffee and a waffle with bananas on it, and I was happy. I go to bed between 9 and 10, wake up at 2:30. You know, back when I first come home from the hospital, after the coma and stuff, that's what I would do. I would pass out 8, 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I'd be up 2 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, doing everything in my power to go back to sleep. A lot of times I just crawl down on the floor on my massage chair and just lay my head back on the back of it and let it start going up and down my back with the heat. I'd pass right back out. It don't do that to me no more. I got to be exhausted for that thing to knock me out now. My Canon do function fine with 4 or 5 hours. My Super 8 has a McDonald's next to it. Yep, that one didn't. I think the nearest McDonald's was half a mile down the road. We had a Five Guys burger and fries right across the street from ours, though. So that wasn't too awful bad. I don't fall back to sleep ever. You're lucky. You're lucky. I miss out on a lot when I go back to sleep. My first 4 times we stayed at the place, thing was closed. No, I was really happy at the Super 8. I was real happy with that. It was a nice place. It was clean. The breakfast was good. They were very informative when we were looking for some place to eat. Um, the little girl didn't even live in that town. She was pointing out all kinds of places right there. We didn't even have to drive to them. They were so close. There's probably 10 or 15 restaurants right there within walking distance. So I was actually very happy with that. I mean, if you wanted, we had a Subway right next door. Woo-hoo. Had a Jimmy John's, freaky freaking fast. Couple of Chinese buffets, whole bunch of burger places, Pizza Hut. We wound up having Chinese. We don't get Chinese very much. Don't get any kind of seafood, so all the cute little seafoods, little shrimps and scrimpies and stuff like that. I've stayed at 6 or 7 different ones, and they were all okay. I mean, it wasn't no, Marriott by the Hilton or anything like that. But I mean, it was a nice, comfortable place. Didn't have a pool though, which really kind of sucked because I wanted to soak in the whirlpool. Of course, all the other people staying there were probably thankful that they didn't have a pool or anything because I mean, you want to see this in a pair of swim trunks? I don't, and neither did they. Yeah, exactly, Tony. You know, this morning it was colder than a well digger's butt in cast iron underwear in the middle of January in this room. And tonight it feels like it's 101 degrees in here. And it's only 66 degrees outside right now. Air conditioner's on. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Just have to fire it a lot. Swirl your finger around the circle. Jacuzzi tub. Never thought about that. I've had to turn up the temp in here to 73. Yeah, the wife keeps turning it up to 73 and I keep turning it down to 70. We kept ours at 68 when I was growing up. This 72, 73 degree stuff in here, I run around in a pair of pajama pants at night and that's it. I sweat my butt off. I got any kind of shirt on. But yeah, this place was cool as could be today. And here it is, the coolest it's been in days. And this room is just hotter than Billy be damned. Oh yeah, see, when we turn ours on 73, it stays 73 in here. There's no 68 to 70. That the little temperature thing on that thermostat hits 73 degrees and that it shuts off. But we knew the thermostat on the old furnace was bad anyway because there was a 5 degree variation between the living room where the thermostat was at and the kitchen sink that was, 16 feet away. Just in the next room, there was a 5 degree variation. So we knew we were going to have to replace the thermostat. But when the furnace finally went, we just got the whole shebang replaced. It used to be the old AC wouldn't keep it below 80 when it was hot. Wow. We have ours into 67, but we have a 2-story house. Yep, this is a little modular, and it's like living in a microwave. The heat hits the roof, and it automatically makes the inside temperature just go nuts. How many temps the thermostat can read is where it is at. Oh yeah, I know. I've had to explain that multiple times to the wife. It has its thermostat right there. Its thermometer is right there. It reads the ambient temperature right there at the thermostat, and that's where it sets itself at. Ding. Who went ding? Who went ding? Oh, hey, that is Jason Paul right there. We have central air here, but switched to window units because they're cheaper. Can't blame you for that. Can't blame you for that. Having that big motor running constantly. Oh yeah. Guys, I got to put on a t-shirt. We got a half hour left and I got sweat rolling. I'm just going to be right over here. I'll keep right on talking. But gotta head out. Sweat's rolling down my face, so I'm going upstairs where it's nice and cool. All right, Jan. Sounds like a plan. We will. We'll we'll talk to you before Friday to keep our bedroom at 66. Cost a fortune with central air. Oh my God, I'm sure. I'm sure. Those larger units like that are terrible on on the air and stuff. Unforgettable. That's what you. Unforgettable. Oh, there we go. Much more company now. Little cooler that way. Hey, Ian. Good to see you, bud. Again, I seen you in here earlier, said hey to you, and you disappeared. Hope you're doing good this evening. Hoping to get back down your way here again real soon, bud, and do a couple more of the cemeteries there in town. We've actually talked about doing Fort St. Joseph. Um, don't know for sure when. Don't know what Mark's reenacting schedule looks like. So, not really sure what the investigation schedule looks like until Jan and Jay get up here. I know I'm going to take them out on a little special cemetery investigation right here local on Friday evening, and of course Saturday morning. We're going to be heading up to get everything set up at Ghostorama on the 20th. That's going to be a good show. That's going to be a real good show. It's going to be fun meeting up with everybody that's coming in for that one. Be pretty cool. Where's my soda pop at? Goodness gracious sakes. Turned off the coffee pot. Still sweating. Come here, sody pop. Oh. That tastes good. So gonna be squirrel hunting tomorrow there, Tony. See if you can get you a couple squeals to throw in the oven. I'm sure they're going to be good. I don't know. I know we got rain all night long, but I don't know what direction it's coming from. I don't know if it's coming from the northwest or coming from the southwest. Whether you're going to get hit at all, God only knows. Just go to make homemade popcorn and watch a good movie. Nothing wrong with that. I always go for some good old popcorn and a movie. 64 tonight, 60 tomorrow night. That's good. Should be a nice cool morning. Both mornings. Go out and get yourself some squirrel. Squirrel hunting. Haven't done that in a while. Nothing like good squirrel pot pie. You know, I've never had a squirrel pot pie. Now, that's not saying I've not had a squirrel with potatoes and carrots and onions before, just not had the crust on it. Sometimes the crust is the best part of a pot pie. Or at least when I was little, it was my favorite part of a pot pie. I found some old stuff at Silverbrook Cemetery, old grave sites. Yeah, I want to get back out there again this year before the weather turns sour and do some more out at Silverbrook. Of course, I want to go back to the mound, back in the back of it where the Potawatomis were reburied at when they unearthed them uptown, breaking land for that building. Go back out there and do a autumn blessing and stuff like that before winter sets in. You found a slave grave site. Hey, Freedom, good to see you. Hope you're doing good. Now, I didn't know there were any slave grave sites in Silverbrook. At least our research has never resulted in any of them. That's very interesting. Very cool. Very cool. I am doing well, Freedom. Thank you for asking. Hope you are as well. Well, I'm glad folks are still popping in to hang with us. Um, we had 11 viewers earlier, 12 viewers, something like that. Of course, I think some of them were just lost and looking for directions because they didn't hang out very long. I guess seeing the thumbnail for this, they thought we were just going to be completely different than what we are. And all I can say is back off my nuts. Back, back is the old part. Huh. I'll have to say something to Mark about that. See if he can find some information on that. There may be more than just one. There were people in Indiana that had slaves. There were people in Michigan that had slaves. So there could be more than one slave grave in Silverbrook. Just never know what you're going to find in that place. Silverbrook is by far a place of mystery. Especially right there around the yes, it is. I've never heard of it. If you go back in our investigations, Tony, you'll see two or three different times we have gone to Silverbrook. It is like 26,000 graves or something like that. There, it is huge, very very big cemetery. Maybe it's 26 acres, 12,000 graves, 12,500, something like that. Yes, there is the witch that's buried there. Her family actually had her buried above ground um, in a concrete vault so she didn't pollute the holy ground because nobody was really sure what her beliefs were. Let's just say that when at the early part of the 20th century, she was on board um, a ship that started going down, and uh, she survived pretty unscathed. But her family did say that when she returned from that trip, she returned a completely different person. And of course, it has a receiving vault in it, which is one of very few still existing receiving vaults uh, remaining in the 21st century. This thing was put in uh, during right around the time period of the Civil War, and if you look through the door, it's been in there for so long that the iron scaffolding that they used to set the coffins on to await spring, where they could actually put people in the ground, a lot of them have just crumbled and hung down to the ground. Of course, they don't use it anymore because now they have backhoes and stuff to dig the holes. Back in the day when they were using shovels to dig them, they used a receiving vault to keep people in that passed away during the wintertime when the ground was frozen. But now there's really no need for it. But the outside of it has stayed in such great shape all these decades that it's been there that they just can't tear it down. There's a lot of activity around that receiving vault. Of course, back in the day when the receiving vault was used, they didn't do a lot when it comes to preparing the body, um, i.e., cleaning it out, putting formaldehyde in it, et cetera, et cetera. They just pretty much, um, you went to the doctor, you went to the mortician, you got stuck in a box, and you got put in the ground. If they couldn't put you in the ground, you got stuck in a receiving vault until they could put you in the ground. Sometimes with a bell. You are correct. And a lot of times, if you didn't have a bell, and you'll see this in multiple cemeteries throughout the country, but more specifically in the eastern half of the country, you'll see windows looking right down at your face. And that way people could come by for a couple days after you were put in the ground and glance down to see if you were moving, see if you were banging on the windows for help, whatever the case may be. There's quite a few graves here in Michigan that have got like a 12-inch by 12-inch glass window going all the way down to the face of the person interred. Gets a little morbid after a while, looking down on them, but at least they're not still alive. The one thing I have not seen around here, though, that I would really like to see is the old iron cage that went around the burial site to prevent the dead from rising. Of course, there's multiple stories behind those. Some people say they were there to keep the dead from rising. Some people said they were there to keep grave robbers from robbing the graves. What's the true story? God only knows. Schiller Old Boat. Yes, sir. But yeah, I'll definitely have to check into, the SS Schiller. I got you. Well, Tony, believe it or not, when, mosquito bite on my knuckle, scratching on the chair. When people first came to this country, there were a lot of stories on vampires. I mean, a lot of people brought those urban legends and myths from the old world when they came here. And you can actually look up, vampires in America. And there are stories that people brought from the old world about people drinking human blood, people feeding on each other, family members that were buried, that other family members started to get sick after they died. And of course, the story would go, they went and exhumed the body, and the body still looked fresh and vital, the hair was still flowing, everything. And then of course, they didn't really understand the steps of decomposition back then. So, they would look at how the lips were pulled back away from the gums, and more of the teeth were exposed, and the gums were pulled where they started to moisten and recede. And they would look at these engorged teeth, opened eyes, things like that, and they would automatically assume vampire. Several times through history right here in America, they have dug up. Matter of fact, I remember reading one story not very long ago of a 16-year-old girl. Her mother had died. She got sick, and then her older brother got sick. Well, she died, and they wound up putting her in the ground, and Then they found out that the boy continued to get sick, even though the doctors thought for sure they had him cured. Then all of a sudden, the younger kids would get sick, and they would blame the daughter for killing the mother, and then feeding off her siblings. They went and exhumed her body, her gums and everything were pulled back, and stuff like that. They literally cut off her head and laid it on her chest after driving a wooden spike through her heart. They were sure that she was rising from the dead and still feeding on her siblings and killing them. Um, yeah, the witch was on the SS Schiller. Yeah. Um, KG, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, there's all kinds of stories like that. I mean, it just blows your mind because, they're sitting here thinking, oh, well, she's definitely rising from the dead. But she's not. It's normal steps of decomposition that they were looking at, and blaming her for being, an undead, demonic creature that rises in the night and feeds off her siblings. So then, of course, other people in town, they started getting sick, and they were blaming her too, and stuff like that. So, I mean, it takes a community. And her story's not the only one. Then all of a sudden, people started putting these cages over the burial sites, the same as they did back in England, when all the stories of the dead rising from the grave were happening over there. 2 more days, I go back to doctor. Hope you've been doing what they told you to do and not walking on that thing. Yeah, you're right. Fear and ignorance have killed many a people. You are correct. But once again, though, getting back to the other thing, the flip side of that coin with grave robbing, back in the late 19th century, the early 20th century, when medicine was evolving and technologically improving, a lot of medical schools, colleges, and stuff would pay people for bodies. So these people would go to a graveyard, they would find someone who's died in the last few days or the last week or something, they would dig them up and take their body to the college, to the medical school, and they'd get paid for bringing these bodies in. So, those cages also served a purpose of keeping people from being able to dig up their family members and take them and sell the bodies. So, I mean, for every logical story, there's an illogical story. Yes, I have been doing what they told me. I don't walk on it. Well, maybe if you're lucky, by Wednesday, they'll give you the okay to start walking on it a little bit. Putting a little weight on it, maybe being able to actually put your foot down in a bathtub, because I'm sure by now them little piggies are starting to smell real bad, especially as warm as this summer's been. And yeah, sweating inside that cast, I'm sure them piggies are starting to smell absolutely lovely, lovely, like a flower bed covered in poop. I mean, fertilizer. Fertilizer. Yeah, okay, a boot. Whatever. It still smells funky in there, I'm sure. All sweaty and icky and sticky. Ew. Ooh. I bet there are more toe jam inside that boot than Smucker sees in a year. Ooh. Wash them piggies. Wash them little piglies. Take your wash rag, lather it up real soapy, wring it in there between those toes, get them all scrubbed out and stuff like that. Oh, you take your boot off at night? Well, damn. That kind of ruins the whole joke, don't it? What the hell do I know? I ain't never had a broken nothing. Had a broken heart a few times. Ain't never had a broken bone. I know they bathe on occasion. Hell, I bathe on occasion. Every 5th Sunday of the month, I take a shower. It's only because I have hydrophobia. I'm afraid of water. So, you know, it's traumatic enough for me standing at the sink and just splashing water on myself. It does look a lot better. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad it does. I know it looked terrible when it first happened. Stand in a sandstorm. Exactly. Sandblast the dirt off. You got it. Starting to scar up. That's good. That's always a good sign, you know. And I'm sure when you go in there on, I'm sure if you would have let me fix it, you'd been walking, you would have had a bionic leg from the knee down. He would have sat back and made you the prettiest titanium leg and foot you ever saw in your life. Titanium screws and braces. Take your sock off, you'd walk through the house. Tink, 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 tink. You would have been like the $6 million woman for $32.95. All right. Well, I was giving you the benefit of the doubt, Tony, but there you go. Barn hinge and some self-tapping screws, a little bit of morphine. You would have been a new girl. My God, we got less than a minute left. Jesus, criminy. And duct tape. And duct tape. Got that right. But all right, guys, it is that time. Time for me to be like a fat baby and head out. Time for me to be like a tree and leave. Time for me to be like a bunch of birds and get the flock out of here. Thank you guys for coming in here tonight, hanging out, having fun, cutting on each other, offering to cut on each other, much like Tony's been doing with KG. But I'll see you guys Friday morning. But until then, have a good week. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you. God love you. I do. We'll talk to you later.